Hey guys, Happy Dude here, and it's finally time to upgrade my PC.
Because my old PC is beginning to have some trouble with the newer games and also with video editing, especially in 4K. The CPU was a 6700K from Intel. The motherboard was a 170 G1 Gaming. 8GB of RAM from Corsair, 500GB SSD as primary disk, and a 3TB hard disk for storage. And that computer desk I'm also going to replace. And finally, it had a 1080 Ti GTX from Nvidia. And the CPU and GPU were both water cooled in a closed loop. And here are the new parts. Now, even though I am a customer for years now with Intel, I'm finally going to switch to AMD. It's a 3700X. Why the switch? Well, AMD performs better now in multitasking, video editing, and all other programs. Intel is still king with FPS at 1080p, but I game at 2K or 4K, and then the FPS is pretty much the same.
For the motherboard, I went for the Aorus from Gigabyte, the X570 Ultra, because it is compatible with my new AMD Ryzen 3000 series and also the new 4000 series that is coming up next, and because it also has PCI Express 4.0, Bluetooth and Wi-Fi 6, and it also has one of the best VRAMs in its price range. The GPU will be my old but still trusty GeForce GTX 1080 Ti, and I'm very glad I skipped the 2080 Ti because that was overpriced, and now the new 3000 series is going to be amazing. And for the power supply, I'm also going to reuse my old one from Corsair because it is still good enough. For storage, I'm not going to reuse the hard drive from my old system because that hard drive is very old, slow, and almost full. So I went for a new 8TB from Toshiba because they are simply the best, and this one does 7200 RPM and has a 256 megabyte buffer.
And my new primary drive will be a M.2 drive from Samsung with 1TB of storage. And this is going to be my new RAM memory, the G.Skill Trident Royale. 2 sticks of 8GB with a speed of 3600 MHz. And my new case is going to be the massive Tower 900 from Thermaltake. Alright, let's begin with the build.
Okay, first we are going to install the CPU into the motherboard. You can use the box in which it came for extra support. Then take your CPU, open the box carefully, then pull this metal lever up. Now you can see that there is a golden triangle here, and there's also a triangle here on the motherboard, and that's how the CPU should be installed. Just drop it in carefully. Okay. Okay, and then just pull the lever back down. You will feel a bit of pressure. That's okay. Okay, and now we are going to install the CPU cooler. Now AMD has provided one and the thermal paste is already applied, so I'm simply going to use that because in a few months I'm going to water cool it, so it doesn't matter now. You can see this hook here and also here, and this needs to be behind this hook and this one here. Let me turn the board so you can see better. So when you're facing the board, do this hook first. As you can see, it's hooked, and then do the other side. Okay, so when this lever is in a flat position, that is the easiest to click this over the hook here. And then when it's on this side and this side, simply pull this lever. Now this will give a lot of tension. Okay, make sure it's completely 180 degrees, and then this cable here from the CPU cooler goes into CPU fan. Okay, next we are going to install the RAM memory. To know which port to use, check your manual of your motherboard to know which one is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So push one down or open, and also one here. Okay, next watch if this little gap here aligns with the metal pin here, and then just slide it into place. You can push it really hard, and you can help a bit with the pins here. That's one. And now the second one. Same story. Make sure you put it in the right slot. Okay, if you have a M.2 drive, you can install that also. First remove the heat shield. Take this sticker off. Then install your M.2. Then take the heat shield. push it into place and then turn the screw. And now we can install the motherboard into the case. Now I can remove the wall for the motherboard, so that's easier. And also the standoffs are already onto this wall. You cannot take them off. If you don't have that, check your boxes before you install the motherboard. And then just place the motherboard on. First I do the ones in the corners in a crisscross pattern, then the other ones on the side, and then the ones in the middle. And then when the motherboard is in place, you connect all the wires, such as the ones for the USB ports in the front, the connectors for the LEDs from the power switch, the reset button and the power button, that are these. To know which wire you need to connect, you need to read the manual from your motherboard. Then the big connector for the motherboard, and these are the wires for the fans from the case. And then of course the power to the graphic card, and then the power for the motherboard itself. And then you have an extra 4-pin here, that's for when you want to overclock, so the motherboard can have extra power. And that's really all you need to connect. And of course some of the hard drives and such, but with this case that's all in the back. That's what I like about this case. Everything that puts out a lot of heat can go in the back, like the radiators, the power supply, and all the business is in the front. Okay, so I tested the computer and it booted, but I could not install Windows because in the BIOS the M.2 drive wasn't showing in the list, so I think it's not correct connected into the motherboard, so I'm going to check that now. Okay, I think it needs a little bit more pressure. Oh yes, okay, so you need to push it very firmly into the motherboard. You will hear a slight click. Okay, the computer booted, and I'm not going to bore you with the installation video of Windows. And the computer is not done. I know it's a big case, so it's going to get a custom water loop in the future with 2 reservoirs and 2 pumps, so make sure you don't miss that and subscribe. And if you like the video, give me a like.
And of course, thanks for watching, and you all have a nice day. Bye.